The Power Hour with John Lee.
Welcome, my excellent friends. I'm John Lee. This is the Power Hour, and that is Pedro Laguna.
Hello.
Hello, Pedro. Welcome to the Power Hour. How are you today?
Thank you very much. I'm really good, and I can't be better being with you here.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much.
Well, you know, I am excellent, and you enjoy my excellence.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. how could I not?
But you've just got off a train.
Tell
us why.
I was working in Madrid for some days, so I arrived right now. I'm very glad that in your region everything was like sunny and good weather.
Yeah, it's beautiful weather.
Beautiful weather.
I'll tell you what's not beautiful weather. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. Sure. He's not beautiful at all.
No, there's nothing beautiful about.
You're driving fast and crazy.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, smooth way of changing subjects.
Yeah. It was very smoothly. Nobody noticed. I like it.
Yeah, you can use it in any situation.
Yeah. You just start with, I will tell you what is not, and then add whatever you want,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'll tell you what you didn't do today. Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein. And then you just continue talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
I like the way you do it. Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to write it down for me also.
It's good technique.
Yeah.
So, who's Jeffrey Epstein? For anybody who's been in a cave or under a rock for the last 6 months, who's Jeffrey Epstein?
How can I explain this guy? He's a man with a lot of troubles right now.
Not really, he's dead.
Okay, he was. He was with a lot of problems. Yeah, not anymore. No. You're right. He's dead because he suicide, right?
Oh, well, you see, you've opened a can of worms there. Do you know that expression, a can of worms?
No, what does it mean?
You know what worms are, don't you?
Worms like... No, I don't know.
Worms live in the ground and do that.
Okay, worms, yeah, sure, yeah. Lombrices in Spanish.
Gusanos, huh?
Gusanos, yeah, sure.
So, worms, a can of worms. If you've got a can and you open it and it's got, like, beans, no problem.
Yeah.
The beans just, stay there. There's the beans.
Yeah.
But if the worms and they all come out like that, you've got a problem. You try getting the worms back in the can.
Sure. Right? That's the expression.
That's
right?
the expression, a can of worms.
It's a good one.
Because the official story is that after a long, protracted saga, they finally got this guy in a high security, maximum security prison, the most high-profile prisoner in America, probably in the world. And they had him on suicide watch. Then they decided to take him off suicide watch, which is totally against protocol. He had a cellmate who was a monster of a man. And they took him out of his cell, so Jeffrey Epstein was left alone. It was a suicide-proof cell. That means you can't commit suicide there. It's deliberately designed that way. The ceilings are too high. And everything that you've got is made of paper, so it's not strong enough to hang yourself. Yeah. It'll break.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
So, anyway, they took the cellmate out. The two guards that were watching the most high-profile prisoner in the world both fell asleep at the same time, and the 3 cameras that were centered on his cell stopped working at the same time. Jeffrey Epstein, from inside his cell, somehow knew that all the cameras weren't working, I suppose, and knew that both guards had fallen asleep at the same time, right? And he chose that moment to do what is literally impossible, which is to hang himself from a very high ceiling using paper. Right? And this is the official story, and this is what they tell you, and you're supposed to believe.
Yeah.
And even on television, the people who are trying to tell you the story, they're kind of shaking their heads and going, really?
Yeah. Doesn't sound very realistic. Really. Yeah.
So, what's he famous for?
In the last period? I heard that he has like some strange parties with women and kids. Young
girls,
kids, young girls. I heard this, and that's why he went no down very fast from being someone very rich to being someone very, like with a lot of problems.
Very dead.
Yeah, very dead after all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how you look at it. It's how we went up, and it's also how we went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, in the end, he either killed himself in what seems to be an impossible way, or something else happened.
Yeah. I guess you are suggesting that something else happened.
I am suggesting that, yeah, quite strongly, because as I indicated, it appears to be impossible. It's designed to be impossible, and the cameras and the guards. I mean, what does that sound like to you? Does that sound like a good explanation?
No, for sure, it's full of holes, or I don't know how to say.
That's exactly the expression. It's full of holes.
Yeah, full of holes. So, yeah, doesn't sound a story with a lot of credibility. So, who could do that, and why? That's are my questions.
Those are good questions. Well, who? I can't really answer that. Somebody with power, somebody with influence, somebody who can make things like that happen. A group of people, perhaps. But that's when you start to talk about, and you have to understand who Jeffrey Epstein is, and what Jeffrey Epstein is. And I say is, not was, because although he himself, the man, is dead, what he represents is not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So I'll give you a quick rundown on Jeffrey Epstein. Quick bio.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We say bio.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Jeffrey Epstein was a very intelligent child. Okay. He was a nerd. Super nerd.
Okay.
Right. Leaves school, goes to university, studying mathematics, but he leaves without a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's got no degree. Next thing you know, next news, as we say, next news, he's teaching at a university, even though he's got no degree. He's teaching mathematics and physics at a university, even though he himself left university without a degree.
Yeah, kind of Steve Jobs, maybe. No, he did something like this.
Well, maybe there are some similarities to the Steve Jobs story, yeah.
I mean, in this point, I don't know anything else, But someone clever without the degree, but, became kind of important or something.
Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of people in the world who became important that didn't have degrees.
Sure.
It's the point that strikes me as strange is not that he was successful in life even though he didn't have a degree. Yeah. It's that he was actually teaching at a university when he himself...
Yeah, this is something very weird because, I suppose, at least in Spain, by the law, you need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought that was an international thing, that a university professor would need to have a degree from university or be a university graduate.
Sure, obviously.
Or at least it seems unusual to me. And that he was teaching physics.
Yeah, which is also something very developed, right?
Yeah, it's not mathematics. It's, something very specific field of science that he was teaching. So, anyway, after 2 years, they fired him. Mm-hmm. Poor performance. Makes contacts there, gets a job on Wall Street, and he's working on Wall Street, as a golfer.
What is this?
This is a great word. A golfer.
Golfer?
Golfer. You know what a golfer is?
No, I don't know.
It's kind of slang, but it's become official language. Go for this, go for that.
Okay. I think I've been one.
Yeah, we've all been a golfer at some point, my friend. You have to be. So he was a golfer. Then he gets promoted. He becomes an advisor to billionaires.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Okay. Well.
Telling them how to move their money and hide their money in different ways, so they don't have to pay tax.
Yeah.
That kind of guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well.
And then he gets fired again for fraud. Right?
What an ICV.
So he's doing well at this point, no?
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm going to show you the video in a minute. If Fabian can get the video ready for us in about a minute, I'm going to show you a video. But he's working on Wall Street. He gets fired, and then he comes under investigation because he's continuing to work in the financial industry, and the company that he's working for becomes what we say embroiled. It means caught up
Okay.
in another scandal, right? Because it's another criminal enterprise that Jeffrey Epstein's involved in.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So just to bring you to the video, during the investigation, they search his house. The authorities go to his house and they search his house. And one of the things that they found was a passport with his picture on it, right? But a different name that said he was a resident of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Okay.
Quite
And
long.
he
Quite
got
far.
the passport from Austria.
Yeah.
So this is an American guy who was working on Wall Street, who is Jewish,
Okay.
by family and Jewish descent and religion, with a passport that says he lives in Saudi Arabia, but it's fake and he got it from Austria.
There's a big salad, eh? Yeah.
What's all that about?
Yeah,
That's a strange situation, no?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, to being Jewish in Saudi Arabia doesn't sound to me something very popular.
No.
But, yeah, sure.
Yes, it's a strange selection,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And that's where, and around this time, he was telling everybody that he was an intelligence agent, meaning that he worked for the CIA or one of these enterprises. And that's where, around that time, he was friends with Mr. Donald Trump. Fabian, can you play the video for us, please?
Really?
Come on in. Go inside.
An invitation into Donald Trump's world. Footage from 1992 found in the NBC archives shows the future president welcoming Jeffrey Epstein to his Mar-a-Lago estate. The get-together more than a decade before Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida. Both men are seen enjoying themselves, Trump pointing out women dancing in front of them. An apparently
Very drunk.
friendly encounter with a man the president is now looking to distance himself from.
Well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't
Fabian.
a fan.
Epstein, who has
Yeah.
pleaded not guilty to...
Yeah, so what do you think of that?
Very Trumpy thing, eh?
Yeah, Trumpy magic. So,
Trumpy magic.
what kind of reputation does Donald Trump have with women and the female population?
Yeah, maybe not the best one. Yeah, according to this video, you remember when he's thinking that nobody's listening. But
I mean, there was an audio.
yeah, when, he has a micro, and he doesn't realize.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how he grabbed girls in a very strange and direct way. Yeah, he's a misogynist. How you say that?
Misogynist.
Misogynist. I think so. And I don't know, from my perspective, from outside, like with a lot of disorders, mental disorders. I mean, we are free here to talk, right?
You're giving your opinion.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound to me like someone very respectful with women.
No, I
guy.
wouldn't say that he's respectful with women.
Yeah.
I think he's quite famous for being a misogynist. I think he's made it quite clear that he was. And why anybody would be surprised about that, I have no idea. The guy was the world's most famous playboy for 40 years before he became president.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. He's not. He's trying to or pretending to, to cover all this. No, he looks like being very comfortable in his attitude.
Yeah, he was married 3 times. He had affairs. He was public about it. He never denied it. He was on the Oprah Winfrey show. She asked him in the 90s, when are you going to run for president? Why don't you run for president? When they already knew.
Yeah.
He'd been on the front cover of Time magazine numerous times with I don't know how many different women. He was world famous for that.
Yeah.
And now they're all surprised that he he's got this kind of misogynistic attitude to women.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. But
Sure.
you put Jeffrey Epstein, who had his own private island, don't forget.
Wow.
His own private island where he used to have young girls trafficked to that island from all over the world.
Yeah. Wow.
And one of his best friends, at one point in his life, was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now he's got this passport.
Crazy.
Then the court case comes, and the other guy who he's doing business with during this investigation, he goes to jail. Jeffrey Epstein does not.
Oh, really?
Really. And he becomes friends with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Who is this guy? I don't know.
This is not a guy, this is a woman.
What's the name?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine.
It's the only woman I've ever known with that name, Ghislaine.
Me too.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Do you remember Robert Maxwell?
Robert Maxwell, yeah. But you have to refresh my memory, yeah.
He was, as we say, quote unquote, English, British media mogul.
Yeah, okay.
But he was Jewish, he spoke several languages, and he was a billionaire, owning several newspapers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was guilty of stealing money from all his clients and stealing money from his shareholders and investors and all that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
And then he died in mysterious circumstances on his yacht in the Mediterranean Sea. And his yacht was called Lady Ghislaine.
Okay.
Because Ghislaine is his daughter.
Okay.
Right. Now, Robert Maxwell was given a state funeral by the Israeli government.
Yeah.
And they said, the Prime Minister of Israel said, nobody will ever know how much Robert Maxwell did for the state of Israel.
Okay. Well, he gave a clue with this.
yeah. Well, maybe no one will never know. If I
maybe
shut
after
my
this.
mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So how do you see the circumstances now? Now this, right? Don't forget, father, billionaire, dies in mysterious circumstances. State funeral in Israel, even though he's a British citizen. And then this guy Epstein, who's Jewish as well. I'm not blaming the Jewish, but he meets Ghislaine Maxwell, right? And she's the daughter of this billionaire. She knows everybody, and through her, he begins to meet the most powerful people in the world.
Yeah, okay. With these strange connections.
One of them being Donald Trump. I'm going to show you the picture. Fabian, please put me the picture of Bill Clinton, please. As you can see there, there's Jeffrey Epstein with Bill Clinton.
I can see that.
Yeah.
They look like very comfortable, familiar atmosphere.
Yeah, that looks like a photo of two friends together.
Yeah. But a photo is just a moment. You never know. But yeah, it recreates an atmosphere very closed. That's for sure.
Yeah, certainly a casual photograph.
Yeah.
It's not a business photograph, is it? Is it somebody's going to hang on their office wall? That's just a casual photograph of two people together.
Yeah, looks like this, yeah.
What about Bill Clinton's reputation?
With the women also? I mean, I don't know all his relation, but I remember one very good, I know with Hillary. I'm talking about Monica, right? Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, and I remember this guy, lying with the same... I don't know, confidence, that he was also all the time sharing for the propaganda or whatever, but I remember him, sitting and directly lying,
Yeah.
It
was it this? I'll say this again.
Yeah.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You do it very good.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You have also kind of the same hair, very nice.
Yes, thanks for that observation. Totally unnecessary observation.
Totally unnecessary. I just add that.
Yeah, a little bit of flavour for the chat. Yeah, so then he came back a few days later and said, indeed, I did have sexual relations with that woman. It was wrong.
Yeah. But they don't care to lie like this, so direct.
They plural, no?
Some politicians, they really have like big balls, to face the camera, to lie like this to the million of people that is trusting you. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, the way that some politicians, we shouldn't say politicians, but some politicians,
too many.
Yeah, do have a tremendous capacity for lies. Hillary Clinton's the same. You know, she told that. I mean, what we call a laundry list. Have you heard that expression before? A laundry list.
No, but I can imagine what.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
a long list.
Yeah.
A laundry list of lies. One of the best ones was that she landed in Kosovo, I think it was, and they had snipers, you know, trying to kill her, and she was running but she forgot that there was actually a film crew with her recording the whole thing, and she spent half an hour there, you know, talking to kids, taking photographs with kids. No shooters, nothing, no danger at all. And she just forgot that it was on camera and told a complete and total lie about it, and then continued to tell the lie even after the film was released. And then when she had to admit that she was lying, she said, well, I was tired that day and I got confused and thought that you know, whatever.
Yeah, very confused.
Yeah, so lying is something they do well. So
yeah,
we've got him with Donald Trump, and we've got him with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, so this guy is like a provider of women for rich people, or what?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So they say that he was a financial guru, but they can't find any clients. That's not good, is it?
Yeah.
You can't find any clients to support this idea that he was a financial guru, but there are plenty of pictures of him with the most important, powerful, successful people in the world from every sector.
Yeah.
So you've got Donald Trump, who's the Republican president of America. You've got Bill Clinton, who was the Democratic president of America. This is why the media in America don't want to touch this, because it's both sides.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, it's just them or it's just them.
Yeah.
It's both sides. It's all of them.
Both sides, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So,
crazy.
Fabian, put me the Woody picture up, please. Here he is. And what's he doing?
I know one. But I think I know the three main people in this picture, but especially the one with the hat. I know him because we have a sculpture of him in the city.
I know you do. People take selfies with it all the time.
He is keeping the glasses, not in our. We have problem with the glasses of Mr. Woody Allen, a sculpture.
Yeah, I know.
They steal the glasses. What do you think about it?
I think it's vandalism more than theft. I think somebody took a baseball bat to that at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's my theory about it. So you've got Jeffrey Epstein, as you can see in the picture, and he's walking down the street with Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Right. How would you describe Woody Allen's reputation with women?
With women?
Particularly young girls.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're going direct to this kind of reputation, right? Not other kind of reputation like a movie maker or something, no? Direct to the
No, I mean,
point.
I wasn't asking you about Donald Trump's reputation for building casinos or
walls.
Bill Clinton, or walls, or Bill Clinton's reputation for negotiation.
Yeah, you are going straight to the point.
I'm going straight to the point.
Yeah, I noticed from the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah, I'm building the image of who this guy is, and I'm connecting him to people.
Yeah,
we've got very clear reputations in this area.
Yeah, I don't know so much about Woody Allen, to be honest, about this. I remember that he adopted this girl, no? I guess she's his actual wife or something, you know. And they adopt her, and after a few years, they became more than father and girl adopted. I don't know how to explain it.
Happy birthday to you. Come on. Who does that?
I don't suppose this is going so direct, you know. I mean, I don't know.
That's terrible. That's
How old was she when they adopted her?
But she was a baby. She grew up in the house as calling him dad.
She was a baby?
Yeah,
like a
baby.
baby?
I think she was a baby. She was very, very young. They didn't adopt her when she was 14, and then he started his relationship when he was 16. She grew up in the house with all the other kids as one of the kids in the house, calling him dad.
Really?
Yeah, really. She was adopted as a child by Mia Farrow, who's his wife, and their son is Ronan Farrow, who's the guy who started the Me Too movement and exposed Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, he's a journalist, right?
Yeah, and a highly intelligent journalist.
Yeah.
And his sister was the one who accused Woody Allen. his biological sister accused Woody Allen of abuse.
Yeah.
In the early 90s. This was before he married his adopted daughter.
Yeah. Now I'm remembering this. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I didn't know that. So they adopted her when she was a baby.
I think she was a baby. She was definitely very young anyway.
Very young.
Very young.
Yeah?
She was a child. That's all.
Not they adopted her with I don't know, like you say, 16, 17.
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean that in itself would be terrible anyway.
Sure. No, maybe because I don't know. They wanted to help her or something like.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. If she, something very weird. Yeah, you're
so
right.
you adopt a 16-year-old girl and then you say, by the way, we're getting married.
No, this would be also very weird. Yeah, anyway. But I mean, it's even more weird.
Worse. It's even weirder.
Weirder. If you adopt a very, very young baby, I mean, you will have a relation like a father.
As I say, they all grew up together. There were 10 kids. You can go online, look at the pictures. You can see her in the house with the other kids, very, very young. Woody Allen and Mia Farrow, and then he's he's been accused by 2 of his children of being abusive, sexually abusive, and he doesn't help his case by marrying his adopted daughter.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And I can't prove that Donald Trump or Hillary or Bill Clinton or Woody Allen are guilty of any of these crimes. Jeffrey Epstein is. I'm saying that he is clearly associating with very famous and very powerful people, and some of them, at least, we can demonstrate have negative reputations and have been accused, at least.
Yeah, no, reputation for sure is not the best reputation, like you say.
No.
Yeah, I understand the point. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just a question.
Yeah.
What is she saying about the relation? You heard something about it?
She doesn't talk.
She doesn't talk.
If you look, if you look at a picture, you'll see that he's got her arm like that, and I think that signifies quite well the nature of the relationship.
So she's not talking with the media or something.
I've never seen an interview or read anything that she said.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah,
and I mean, obviously the age difference is enormous.
Yeah, this is for sure. But I mean, we have Julio Iglesias. This is not the. I mean, distances between, but different perspective for sure. But I mean, it's not that how old is someone and how young. Not always, because we have several cases more hygienic relation and big distance of age.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that he adopted her.
Yeah, this is very weird. Yeah,
and he's also been accused of abusing his other children.
Sure.
Fabian, can we have the Prince Andrew picture, please? This is my personal favourite. So, what's happening in the picture?
I don't know. In the picture right now, I how you call when someone is like condicionado, predispuesto, like.
Conditioned? Or?
I'm conditioned right now with all my thoughts.
Well, condition yourself to that picture.
Yeah. So it's just 2 guys talking.
Just 2 guys talking.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. What do you see in the picture?
I see somebody who's already been convicted of sex crimes twice, has been sent to prison for 3 years, having been found guilty of being a paedophile and a sex trafficker, walking through the park in a clandestine meeting with Prince Andrew.
How do you know it's clandestine meeting?
Because he's a convicted paedophile. They're walking through.
He was already. Really?
Yeah.
Really? In that point, he was.
He'd already been sentenced to 3 years.
Yeah. Wow.
He was on the sex register. Had to go and sign every day. And Prince Andrew went to his house in New York and stayed with him for 4 days after this. His excuse that he gave in the BBC interview was that he wanted to go and talk to him and tell him that they couldn't be friends anymore because he was a paedophile, and he decided to stay for 4 days.
Yeah, but they don't care at all about even the reputation or what the people would think. They don't care.
He didn't know. He said in the interview, he was asked about it, and he said he didn't know that he was being photographed. He doesn't know how the photograph was taken. Nobody was told.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what he was suspicious, that the photograph may have been taken to blackmail him, to be used against him.
Okay, yeah. But the fact that he was there about this, what he said.
He's he knew. He literally said, "My problem is I'm too honourable."
Wow, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So he said, when I discovered, that he was a convicted paedophile.
He's a cousin of Bill Clinton.
Well, probably all cousins, man. If they're not cousins, they're in the same kind of vampire cult. So he discovered that Jeffrey Epstein's a paedophile. So he travelled from England to New York to go to his house to tell him that they can't be friends anymore, having previously said in the interview that they were never friends really, and that they only knew each other through this Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
That's how they knew each other.
Yeah.
But they weren't really friends. But at the same time, his excuse for going and staying in his house for 4 days was that he had to go and tell him that they couldn't be friends anymore because he was a paedophile.
Yeah.
His interview was so bad. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, you need to see it. Man.
Yeah.
You need to see it.
Can imagine.
It was so bad that he disappeared the next day. He hasn't been seen since.
Since the
interview.
Wow.
He did the interview in Buckingham Palace with the BBC because that's the most friendly organisation in the world to the royal family.
Yeah. I'm thinking two different. I have two different thoughts. One, these people, if it is what it looks, is shitty people. This is my first thought. And second one, if they don't have people to. I don't know. You always think about these people surrounded of people, telling them how to communicate, covering everything. But sounds to me like they are very stupid also. Not to keeping this in secret. I mean, I'm glad that this came out, but because like this we will know. But then you wonder yourself. It's not suppose you are surrounded of very intelligent people covering everything.
Well, yeah, I mean that question has been asked, and the answer is generally that Prince Andrew is the stupid one of the three brothers. And if you know who the three brothers are, the others are Charles and Edward, and he's the stupid one. So you can draw your own conclusions from that. But he disappeared after that interview. He released a statement that he is resigning from all royal duties, so he doesn't do anything now.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so he's just in a palace. Nobody knows where he is. Nobody knows what he's doing. The lawyers representing the girls who accuse him personally, Prince Andrew, of sexual abuse and rape. Their lawyers are in New York saying Prince Andrew promised to cooperate with the investigation, and he's done zero. He won't answer our messages. He won't take our phone calls, and he will not speak to us at all. Come to the United States and speak to us and speak to the FBI. Help us with this investigation. Prince Andrew will not respond. And he promised on live television on the BBC that he would do everything possible to help. He's done zero. He's done nothing. No one knows where he is. Right?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because you don't have anything good to share, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. And that brings us back to Ghislaine Maxwell, because Ghislaine Maxwell is the centerpiece of all this. She connects all these dots. She's the thing that every one of them, all these people have got in common, apart from Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
Right? And nobody knows where she is.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So there was an article in the Jerusalem Times a couple of weeks ago, last week I think, saying that she is being hidden in Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you tell me, if the FBI and the CIA and these people want to find you, do you think they can?
Yeah, they to me for sure, but you can also, you know where I live.
Yeah, but, I do know where you live.
Yeah, but I suppose they can find most of the people easily. maybe this is my thought because of the movies. I don't know. Maybe they have problems also because there are laws. There are Interpol connections that the. I want to believe that there are limits also for the CIA and all this kind of. Yeah, maybe I'm too. How you call it? Like
Naive.
Naive. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I suppose they have. I mean, I have several colleagues right now working in the police investigation in Spain, and yeah, they tell me that it's really, really, really easy. So if it is easy for our police, I can imagine someone or some organization with so many resources. Yeah, they can really find. Maybe they can't find someone that you don't know a lot about them because it's not, let's say, I mean, imagine to find someone in a specific country of Africa, let's say, that maybe there are not so many possibilities to register everybody. I mean, you can lose the clue there. You know,
yeah.
But in a country like Spain, for example, it's impossible you disappear. I mean, you can hide yourself in a place and don't go out, but it's probably the minute you are going out, they will know it.
So what if we say right? Okay, we take that one off the table that they can't find her. So there's one possibility they can't find her.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take that one off the table. What remains? That they can find her, but they don't want to. That's a major possibility.
Yeah.
Because if they produce her and they bring her to New York and the lawyers for the people who accuse her of trafficking and rape and all these things, then she's got all the information that Jeffrey Epstein had and what happened to him.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't want to find her.
Yeah.
Or maybe they've already found her.
Yeah.
And she's dead.
Yeah, I understand.
Or maybe Jeffrey Epstein's not dead, neither is she, and they're both hiding together somewhere.
Really?
It's possible. Anything's possible, man. Anything's more possible than the nonsense we were told about Jeffrey Epstein hanging himself from a really high ceiling with paper.
Yeah, but there wasn't a funeral or something?
No. I mean, so what's a funeral?
I don't know.
Well, they bring out a box.
Some dead body buried.
Yeah, but you just see a box going in the ground maximum. And I haven't seen any footage of that either, no. But I'm not saying that that's what's happened. I'm just saying that the story that they tell about him hanging himself with the paper, I don't believe that.
Yeah, you don't believe that. Yeah.
And the story that they can't find this woman who's the daughter of somebody extremely famous, and there's pictures of her all over the internet, all over the world, and they can't find her. I don't believe that either.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds a little bit strange. You're right.
It's a mystery on the Power Hour.
Yeah, very, very, very. How you call it? Like disturbing program today.
Yeah, disturbing, very disturbing. But the good news is that the Power Hour exists, and we move this information. We don't let it die. We don't let it go away.
Yeah, why not to talk about?
Exactly.
Yeah,
these things are real. These things are happening, and whether it's Jeffrey Epstein or it's not, there are people all over the world with bad intentions, sure. And the only way to balance that is to give a voice and a platform to people with good intentions.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We talk about it several times about journalism, about even YouTubers or whatever that they don't care so much and they keep all these things alive. I think it's good. I think this is one of the most powerful tools of the democracy. That's for sure. So, last question before you close the program. I suppose you are going to do it.
Yeah, you can see the clock, yeah.
So just last, very first question. What do you think about this sculpture of Woody Allen in this city? You like it?
I think, no, I don't like it. Because I believe his daughter and his son, they accuse him of being an abuser of children. And looking at the evidence that I've seen, the testimony of his daughter, the testimony of his son, and the fact that he married his adopted daughter, no.
Yeah, okay. So for the next program, I suggest you, because I really want to know your opinion about this kind of somehow separate the professional, even artist profile from the personal profile. Do you think this is possible? Like, there is a huge problem right now with Roman Polanski and this kind of people, you know? Some people that say, okay, but he's very good. And some people do, that it doesn't care if he's good or not making movies. He's whatever, you know? So you separate these kind of things?
Yes and no. There are people on death row, serial killers on death row, who are absolutely brilliant artists. They paint in their cells, and the work they produce is absolutely magnificent. I mean, really talented people on death row.
Yeah.
And they write books, but they're not allowed to make money from it. But because they're on death row, you know what death row is?
It's like a prison?
It's a part of the prison where you're going to be executed.
Okay.
So you know, electric chair or whatever. Sure. So these are the worst criminals in the world. They've done horrible things, killed 30 people or whatever. And they produce wonderful works of art because they're very, very talented.
Yeah.
That doesn't, excuse the fact that they are murderers. So maybe, we allow them to paint while they're alive. And if it's good, we put it in a gallery and people can look at it and enjoy it and take what they want from it as art. But that doesn't mean that they should be allowed to profit from that.
Yeah. But, I can't help to sing Michael Jackson songs from time to time. And I know that maybe this guy wasn't specifically like clean people, but he was so good. And I know the songs and they are in my mind. And then if I don't think about it, it's good songs.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It's a
good point.
Yeah.
Talk about that another time on the Power Hour.
Great.
Thanks, Fabian.